Who is Jesus to me?
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 Jesus is trusted father. Trust, because in this day and age where trust is so hard pressed to find, it's hard to able to find someone with non-judgment that you could trust with your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your hurts, your wants, your desires, and be able to have that one single source where you can throw all your trust into. And I say father is because as someone who's lost their father at a young age, it's important to have that father figure around and to know that there is that, that shelter, that someone that could wrap their arms around you and know that you have that father figure around is very important. And something that I look forward to every day in my walk with him is be able to walk with my trusted father.
Jesus is a dependable person, someone who's a foundation, who's never changing. I've always been able to go back to Jesus and found the same support, love, and a push to continue on that I always need. Being a young adult, facing many challenges and going through life, many different phases, dealing with different challenges, he's the one and only person that I've counted on to deliver me and bring me through and help me through everything that I go through. For instance, my parents, they've gone through some health problems, and it has pushed me to join roles that I didn't want to or was expecting to, and he's kind of been there. God's always been there to show me what the path is and what he needs me to be, and give me the strength to actually fulfill those roles, even though I may not want to.
In my life, I would like to say is brought me hope in many aspects, but I have an experience that really explains why. 11 months ago, I had a really bad injury. I fell on ice and I shattered my ankle, and I was basically taken into the hospital not knowing if I was ever going to walk again. And they did the x-rays, and all 3 sides of the ankle was shattered, and I needed to have emergency surgery on it. Now, the scary side of it is I'm a type 1 diabetic, and my biggest fear at that point was that they weren't going to be able to save the foot. And that was kind of my direction in life. So Jesus was where I totally leaned on. My boyfriend involved, praying for me a lot. The choir prayed for me. I had God all around me. And God came through. I had one of the most amazing surgeons, and he put 15 screws and pins in my ankle, and he brought it back together. And 11 months later, I'm walking. I'm walking without a limp, and God's amazing. But I've got the hope and I've got the trust now, and I know if I pray, those prayers are going to be answered. So, Jesus is there. Never ever doubt that. You're never alone. Sometimes trials in our life can make us feel alone, but we never really are alone. Jesus is there. You just need to reach out, even just a couple of words, and your prayers will be answered.
Jesus is a friend. I take Jesus as my friend, not much as my Savior, as much but as a friend, because I can share my innermost thoughts with him. I can tell him what is bothering me, what is frustrating me, what is angering me, and knowing that he will not hold it against me. He understands that it is my true feeling. And so only a friend you can share all these in-depth feeling with. Why I take Jesus as my friend? I remember in 2015, I was told by the doctor that I have this illness that requires surgery. And I was nervous. I was fearful. I was troubled. And I really didn't know what to do. Honestly, I didn't know what to do. I believe in God, yes, and Jesus is my friend, yes. But I remember going to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, Errol, I do not know the outcome of your surgery. And that afternoon when I got home, I went to my bed and I realized that even though I have a good family, loving family, I was alone. I was really by myself. And so I went to my bed, and that night my pillow was soaked with tears, asking myself why. And it was early in the morning, I heard this distinct voice saying, I will take care of you. And after that, there was this relaxing peace that came over me. And I began singing one of my favorite songs, Pass Me Not, O Gentle Savior. And there was this calmness, this peace. And I realized that even though I did not see Jesus beside me, he was beside me. And so he helped me through. Now it's about 5 years since I had my surgery, and I'm still going as if nothing happened. So I thank God for his faithfulness. I thank God for his love. And the same God that helped me through my fears and my struggles, he will help you too.
Who is Jesus to me? Well, I don't know. The only way I could describe it is like a family member. Because you love your family. And even your family, of course, goes through hard times. They're still your family. So he's like a family member to me that's important to me. And I love him.
Jesus is someone I can rely on during my good days and my bad days. Jesus is my refuge. I say this because entering into university, I had everything planned out. I knew I was going into nursing and that after the 4 years I would be working, everything would be good for me. But university wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be. I experienced depression for the first time. I didn't know who to talk to, but I decided to pray and ask God for happiness and peace. But regardless of the prayer, I was stubborn, and I decided to push myself to finish the degree. And 2 years into the degree, I just told myself, I can't continue this way anymore. And I knew I wasn't as passionate as I was in the beginning. So I decided to apply into early childhood education because I still wanted to work with children. And I knew that was my calling, to work with children. And I got accepted into the program, and I am in my last semester, graduating in June. And when I think back on how God has brought me this far and how he has favored me in this program in the sight of my professors, I've made it on honor roll multiple times, and I just can't thank God enough for the journey, because even though I was in my darkest time, it has brought me to this place where I can just sit still and not think about how God has brought me.
Jesus is my Savior. But the beautiful thing is, he's not just my Savior. He's the Savior to all of the world. And because he's our Savior, Jesus can be our healer. He can be our Redeemer. He can be our friend. He can be our refuge. He can be our trusted Father. He can be our family member. Because Jesus is our Savior, he is everything for us. All we have to do is allow Jesus to be in our lives, and he wants us to have that personal walk with him so that Jesus can be our everything. Won't you allow Jesus to be your everything today? Who is Jesus to you?
Foundation.
My Savior.
It's hope.
Trusted Father.
My refuge.
A family member.
My friend.
Our everything.